Welcome, everyone. I'm Davin Chitwood with Kirkham Iron Tech. We have our founder and CEO here, Tom Kirkham. Thanks for joining us. Now, today we have an interesting topic that I've been asked multiple questions about, and it's becoming more relevant every single year, and especially in the past 2 to 3 years. And the topic is cyber insurance. And just off the top of your head, Tom, do you have any things specific regarding cyber insurance that I know a lot of people have tons of questions? Maybe what information can you give out to the world? And I know I have lots of things to talk about cyber insurance as well.
Well, you want me to just throw out my buzzwords and my topics for cyber insurance, and then you fill in the gaps. How's that?
Let me hear it.
You're the expert on it. So here's the deal with cyber. I often get asked, do I need cybersecurity insurance? And the answer is yes. If you can afford it and if you're in compliance with your policy. So yes. If you have one, don't be surprised at renewal time. They come in and say, if you don't have this in place, this in place, this in place, we won't write the policy. And what I mean by this are the things we talk about all the time. You know, best practices, advanced cybersecurity defensive tools, not just the latest internet protection suite.
Yep.
Yeah, that you buy at Best Buy or Office Depot. Those are no longer effective. The modern attacks will just skirt right past them as if it didn't even exist.
Yes.
You'll get no notification and things like that. And if your insurance company is not requiring that, they will, or they'll get out of the business altogether, or they'll just do a risk analysis on your company themselves and assign the premium accordingly. So what is happening is, if you're going to get a cybersecurity insurance policy, and you should, you've got to deploy, or you will have to deploy, advanced cybersecurity defense, these best practices, these White House recommendations, the cybersecurity infrastructure and security agency recommendations, and all the other cybersecurity experts recommendations. These are international standards. There's no secret to it. And I know statistically that about half the audience just doesn't know where to go to get the right advice. But that's why you need to talk to a cybersecurity professional. This isn't an IT specialty. This is a cybersecurity specialty. And any cybersecurity specialist knows exactly what you need. We may use differing tools. We may have minor disagreements around password expiration dates, which which is one I've talked about before. That if your IT company or IT staff is still forcing password changes to log into the network every 30 days, that's really no longer best practices. And the majority of companies out there are still doing it that way, which is a good illustration of a lack of awareness from a cybersecurity standpoint. I'm sure there's exceptions to that. I'm just speaking in generalities. But those are really the basics. Even our company's cybersecurity insurance went from, I can't remember the exact numbers. It was like $3,000 a year to $5,000 a year, and we've got all the stuff. So the premiums are increasing no matter what.
Yes, and that's happened over the past 2 or 3 years. One, because the increase of cyber attacks for all organizations. So the risk has almost tripled or doubled or tripled. But also in the past 2 years, these insurance companies that have been offering these cyber insurance policies lost tons of money because of all these claims that they had to pay out to their clients. And so, like you mentioned, now what we're seeing is those extreme increase in premiums. One, because of the higher risks now, but also because a lot of these companies don't have the preventative cybersecurity measures in place to be compliant or overall eliminate that risk. And so I like to think of it this way. Everyone here, if you own a home, you have to have home insurance or you have home insurance. But to have that policy, there's always some preventative measures you have to put in place to be compliant, such as a fire alarm. If your house burns down, you didn't have a fire alarm, most likely, or smoke detector, most likely that claim's not going to get paid out. Or maybe you don't have locks on your doors and somebody walks in, steals your TV, you try to put an insurance claim. Well, your door is wide open. We can't help you. And so that's an easy way to think about it. But there's lots of preventative measures. And Tom, you mentioned the one like a password manager, but also companies are starting to require endpoint detection response tools. Training is continuous cybersecurity training is something that I've seen on almost everyone's insurance policy. One of the requirements, simply because we've talked about this before, human error is inevitable, but there's a lot more restrictions or requirements, and some are even having a annual cybersecurity and risk assessment to make sure you are understanding or revealing any potential vulnerabilities you have year in and year out, and then making sure you address those to eliminate that risk for cyber insurance.
Yeah,
But,
and that's something that we offer free of charge for
yeah.
both non-customers and existing clients. We do periodic business reviews with our existing clients, and depends on the size and what they do and all of that, the frequency, but minimums once a year. And to continuously refine the defensive posture in response to new threat technologies, new threat actors. But when it comes to new threat technologies, especially artificial intelligence, and this is going to cause premiums to go up even more. And that's a topic for another video. But I would encourage anybody listening that the assessments that we do are literally they could be worth, well, almost any company, it's worth thousands of dollars. These aren't flippant. They're not 5-minute deals. And we offer that free of charge, no obligation other than your time. You need to treat it seriously. And you can just walk away with it and use that information to improve your own security. And much of that stuff's free for you to do.
Of course.
It's really, our biggest challenge is changing that mindset to be security, or treat security as job number one.
Yes.
And that's my job each and every single day, is to increase awareness and all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, take away from this conversation, one thing I want to make sure everyone knows is if you don't have a cyber insurance policy yet and you're looking to getting one, things you need to do even before considering that: get that free assessment done, but also implement the preventative cybersecurity measures, because it will help you, one, get a good policy, but also get cheaper rates. And if you have an insurance policy already, I would still highly recommend getting that assessment done and then implementing those security measures. And once again, it should help bring that premium down, as of course they're skyrocketing 200-300% in the past year. And so the main thing, get an assessment done. Like Tom said, we offer one for free. It's real quick and easy, but overall to help you take the proper steps and create that security plan to, one, of course, increase your security posture, but overall also get you ready for that cyber insurance policy, because they're going to come with a long list of things. And if you already have those in place, it makes your job 100 times easier.
Yeah. And you pointed out a little thing I want to reiterate. If you've already got a cybersecurity insurance policy, you still need to do a risk assessment, because if you check the wrong box on your application and you have a security event, they will do anything they can to deny claims. And I don't mean that insurance companies are being malicious, but they ask you, what is the state of your ship? And if you tell them something that's incorrect, could be purely accidental, probably is, because you're likely not a cybersecurity expert and you may not know the terminology. That doesn't change the fact that you told them you had this. They underwrote the policy. You had an event, and that was what you said would have stopped the event, and you didn't have it. Right. It's not there. So yes, I can't say enough about that. So the worst thing could be happening is you've been paying premiums all this time. You have an event and they're not going to pay off.
Yeah. So if you have questions, more questions about cyber insurance, or want to hear more information in general, feel free to reach out at any time. I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to get that free assessment. So as soon as you see this, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to offer that assessment to you. But overall, thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everyone.